Welcome to the day 4 of our SQL training. In the last session, we covered some important concepts. So the first one is the importing data from Excel file, where we learn how we can import data from the Excel file instead of inserting the multiple rows in a one go. Then we also learn about primary keys. So mainly the primary keys is used to uniquely identify each record in a table. Then we learn about the composite primary key. A composite primary key is formed by combining more than 1-2 columns. So there is a multiple fields are involved in the composite primary key. Then there is a unique key. Unique key is a similar to the primary key, but you can accept null values and we can have multiple unique keys in a table. There is a question about what is the difference between primary key and unique key is generally asked in the interview. So you can prepare for that also. Then these are the fundamental constraints which useful for maintaining the data integrity. And now we can just dive into the today's agenda. So today's agenda is about the foreign key constraint, then about the joins, check constraints. Then if time permits, we will touch on the detailed commands like create, alter, drop and truncate. We already started the work on the create and the drop commands. We will already cover in the last sessions. Today we try to cover about the alter and the truncate commands. So these constraints, the foreign key constraints and the check constraints are very helpful to ensure the consistencies across the tables. So let's get started. So what is a foreign key? A foreign key is a key which help us to establish a relation between the two tables by referencing the primary key of the another table. So this is the foreign key here, which which refers to the primary key of the another table. So here there is, if you can see, there is an employee table and there is a department table. If in the department table we have department name as the primary key, and we can give the reference to the department name in the employee table. So with help of that we can connect more than two tables and they give the reference of the each other. With the help of that we can create the joins. So what is exactly the joins? Joins is a operation is used to combine the rows from two or more tables based on the related column between them. Typically the primary key in one table and the foreign key in another table. That I already explained. That here, for example, if you consider this scenario, here there is the department and the employee is the two tables. In that, department name is the primary key in the department table and it is giving the reference to the department in the employee table, which is a foreign key here. So it is a relation. Joins means exactly show the relationship between the primary key of one table and the foreign key of the another table. Today I create two tables in the PostgreSQL, department and the employee, and then I will show you how we can create the foreign key on that. So let's go to our SQL script and then to the pgadmin tool. So this is the department table and here is also the employee table. So let's do one by one. So I'm just copying the create table script for the department and let me do it in the pgadmin tool. So this is department table. I just select it and execute it. Just select the query and try to execute it. So my query is written successfully. Let me confirm it by executing the select statement. So you can see the table is present, the structure of the table is present. I just want to show you one more thing. If you want to create the table with the help of the tool, you can just right click on the table options and create here the create table. There you can provide the name of the table. There are the columns also where you can mention your column names and the data types and the length and everything, not null. The constraint also you can declare here. So that is also the one of the way to create the table. Now we have already created our table. Now we are going to insert the data into the table. But before inserting the data into the table, I just want to show how we can see our constraint create on the table. So this is our table, and here this is the department table. If you click on the constraint options, you can see there is the department key is presented here. So here you can see the department key as this constraint. Now let's insert data into our table. So let me share my document again. Here is the insert statement. So let me copy it and try to insert in our table. So this is the department name, department head, and these are the corresponding values for that. So let me select it and try to execute it. So my query returned successfully. Let me confirm it by executing the select statement. So data is already inserted it now. Now let me try to create the table for the department. So I again go back to my documents and I will select the employee table. So this is my employee table. Here this department is going to be connected with the department name in the department table. So but before foreign key, introducing to the foreign key, I just created table as without any foreign key constraint. So let me try to select it and execute it. So my table is created now. Let me confirm it. The structure of the data, sorry, it's not a department, it's an employee. So structure of the data is already present here. Now we need to insert data into that. Here someone has maybe query that what is a serial. Serial means automatically it generate the number as identification in most of the SQL, and it goes into the incremental manner. So if I insert the first record, it takes as a one, then if I insert the second, it takes as a second. So it's always in the increase in the incremental fashion. So now let me insert my data again. My query is executed successfully. Let me check it. So okay, so data is also already inserted in our table. Now what we can try, now if you see, there is the IT, HR and the finance are the department names which is present in the employee table and the department table also. If you see IT, finance and the HR. But if someone tries to add an employee under the department, that doesn't exist. Okay, so for that, if I try to insert the department with the healthcare, so what will be the happen? Let's see. Or we can say with the name of the marketing. So I'm trying to insert the record for the employee table in the employee table with the marketing department. So let me insert the data for the marketing field. Okay, so I just select it and try to execute it. So if you see here, my query is written successfully, and if I try to check whether it is inserted or not, so if you see the marketing data is inserted here. So there is no any mechanism here to validate that this field or this department is present in the parent table or not. So for that, there is a foreign key is introduced. So in the foreign key, what happens when there is a no department is present in the department, they will not allow that employee should be inserted in this. Means in for example, in the scenario, there is a employee from the sales department. Okay, but if your department table is not containing any sales department, so that time it doesn't allow to insert data for the employee of the sales department. So now is the time to introduce the foreign key to keep the relations between the two tables. So for that, we can using the alter command here. So this is the one of the detailed command which I am going to cover in this session. So what is the alter command? Alter command is mainly used to modify the structure of the table. So here my main modification is to introduce with the foreign key constraint. So let me try to copy my SQL script here. So this is my SQL script for the alter command. Okay, and let me select it and execute it. So what they said here, the key department marketing is not present in the table department. Insert update on the table employee violates the foreign key constraint. This one. So that means that they are saying that we introduce the marketing field in the department in the employee table, but it is not present in the department. So for that we need to delete this marketing row from the employee table. So how you can delete from the employee table? So if I execute this command, it will delete all the records from the employee table. But I don't want to delete all the records. I just want to delete the record which has the department marketing. So let me show you. I again want to execute it. So if you see, only this row has the marketing department. So what I need to do here, where department is marketing. Let me execute this command. So here it is not allowed. So my data is deleted from here. If again try to execute it to confirm whether my data for the department of marketing is yes, it is deleted now. Now again let me execute this command again. So this time it should be executed successfully. So you see it done successfully. Now I introduce the foreign key in my employee table. If you want to see here, this is my employee table. Let me refresh it. So if you can see, the another foreign key constraint also present on the employee table now. So we done now. Now how we can check whether it is done or not? So for that, if I try to again insert the value in the employee table which is not present in that, so ideally it should throw an error. So let me try again. If I I try to execute same command here. Okay, logically marketing is not present in the department table. Let me show you. See, in the department table there is no marketing department is present. Okay, and in employee table also there is no marketing department is present. But now I'm trying to insert the value in the employee table of the with the employee from the marketing department. So now I apply the foreign key constraint, so that obviously validate and it throw an error. So let's try now. I just select that command and try to execute it. So if you see here, it shows that this, if you try to insert this record in the table, it violates the foreign key constraints. Just now we just learned about the foreign key constraint, and we have observed that foreign key is helpful to keep the relations between the two tables. Now how the foreign key is helpful to create the joins between the two tables. It is a new concept, so let me show you how we can create the joins on the two tables, which create the very impactful result. So let's have the script for that. So this is my script for the joins. Let me try to execute on the PG admin. Let me copy the script here. Okay, and I selected the SQL script and execute it. So if you see here, these joins help me to fetch the data from the two tables which is needed or desirable. So here this is the employee table and this is a department table. We make a join of this, but to make the join on the more than one table, we need some common field between the two tables. So for performing the joins, it is very needed the common field should be there to create the joins. So here we have the department, and department name is the common field. Here we use the alias. The alias is mainly used to make your field in a more readable manner. If I put employee everywhere, it is not that much readable. So it's make it the short and it helpful to present the data in a more readable format. So we will learn more about the joins. There are the three types of joins: inner join, outer join, self joins, but that we will cover in our future sessions. So now again we go back to our presentation, and we try to cover the next topic. So the next topic is about the check constraints. So what is a check constraint? The check constraint is nothing but which helps to ensure that the data in a column meets a specific conditions. For example, if you can set a rules like ensuring the age of the student should be equal to 15 or greater than 15, then that time the check constraint is see whether data inserted, the record which we are going to insert it, is it following the condition or not. If it is not, if it is violating the condition, then it throws an error. So let me show you the practical example for that, scenario for that. So for that I need to create a table for the student. So this is a script for my student table, and let me try to execute in the PG admin. So let me select it and try to execute it. So my school table is already executed and created successfully in our database. So if you see here, the student school table is created here. Now let me try some data, insert some data in it. So I will try to insert the data in it. So let me copy my script here and try to execute here. So by executing the select statement, I can confirm that data is inserted in my table. So data is inserted here. Now here my condition is that the age of the student is greater than 15 or equal to 15. So if when I insert these values, it fulfill that conditions. So it never throw any error and my data is inserted successfully. But when I try to insert some data which is you can say less than 15, so what will be the result? Let's see. So let me try to execute. So this is my script and let me try execute in the pgadmin. I selected this query and execute it. So if you see here, it's mentioned that if this record is invalid because it violates the constraint conditions. So with the help of the check constraint, it helps us to prevent to insert the incorrect data into your table. So like that, check constraint is also helpful us to ensure that data inserted in your table is under with some conditions. So this is the check constraint. We already covered the foreign constraints. So foreign constraint, then check constraints, all these constraints help us to provide the consistent data or data integrity in our database. Now the next topic is about our DDL commands. We already covered the create and the drop command in our previous sections, and just now I also introduced about the alter command. Now there is the truncate command. So truncate and the drop are the both command which we are going to cover here. So there is the drop and the truncate commands. So there is a difference between the drop and the truncate commands. Drop command is mainly used when it deletes the table and its data, but truncate only deletes the data. Means if we have the table structure, it is present in the truncate command, but it is not present in the drop command. If you see here, the structure is removed here, it is retained here. Then recovery is not possible in the drop command. Here table structure is remain as I mentioned. Here performance is moderate, this one is a faster. So let me show you in the pgadmin. Try to execute the commands in the pgadmin tool to show you the drop and the truncate command. So here right now we have the table of the school which has the structure and the data present here. So in the drop command, as we see, drop command is execute and it deletes the data and the structure as well. But in the truncate command, only it only deletes the data. So first I will try to execute the truncate command. So truncate table school. Let me select it and execute it. So if you want to see what happens, so just select it again and try to execute. So if you see here, data is deleted from the table, but structure is still present in the database. Now I will show you the drop table command. So if I execute drop table and the school, so this time it deletes the structure as well as the data. But right now there is no data present in the database in the table. So let me execute the insert command. So data is present right now in the school table, if you see here. So I will show you the execution of the drop command in the school on the school table. So my query executed successfully. Let me see if the table is present or not in the database right now. So if you see, table is not present right now. So I hope you understand the difference between the truncate and the drop command. I will again repeat it. The truncate command helps to remove the data from the table, and the drop commands is delete the structure and the data of the table. It deletes the structure from the database and removes the data from the table. So again we go back to our presentation and we'll see. So today we cover up about the different essential commands and the constraint like a foreign key, check constraint, and the detailed commands like a alter. And we also learn today about the joins and about the truncate and the drop commands. In our next session we will going to learn about the DQL commands. In that there is a select statement which has a different distinct order by limit, offset, that things we will cover. And we will see joins in a more deeper way about, I already mentioned that there are the 3 types of the joins: inner join, outer join, and the self join. That we will cover up in the next session. So thanks for watching this video and please subscribe to our channel.